All right. What's up, everybody? Another episode here of Dave's R&R. We hit the NFL back this week. We're headed into Week 7. I hope you enjoyed the Halloween Ends review. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. Our last episode, we went into the movie reviews. But this episode, we're back on the sports betting track, and we're going to talk Survivor as well. Because we had an excellent NFL week last week. We started off the year pretty bad, but we went 6-1 last week, and that put us in positive on the year with 11 wins, 9 losses, and 1 push. So we're back on the positive end. We're hoping to keep that momentum going this week and going forward. We're trying to end the year in positive units, so let's keep at it because I've got 7 picks for y'all this week. We went with 7 last week, so let's keep with 7 this week. We'll jump right into it here. The first pick, I'm going with the Ravens -6. And I might be shooting myself in the foot because I picked the Ravens against the Giants last week, and it looked good in the first half like it has all season, and they blew it big time in the second half against the Giants. A bet, I can't bet this because I don't like betting against the Ravens, but if you bet Ravens first half and their opponent full time, this year, in the first 6 games, you're up 20 units because they were up on the Bills, up on the Dolphins, up on the Giants, and then ended up losing those. So you're positive on the year if you lose every other bet this year going Ravens opponent money line each half. So maybe check that out if you want to lean that way. But it's the Browns. I don't see it being much of a contest this week. Hopefully, I'm not shooting myself in the foot, like I said. Lamar always looks good off a loss. I think they're going to bounce back heavy here and blow the Browns out. Still no Deshaun Watson for a couple more weeks. So let's give the Ravens a touchdown here. At least Ravens -6. And going into my next pick, I'm taking the team the Ravens lost to last week, and that's going to be the Giants. Giants +3 against the Jaguars in Jacksonville. This line makes zero sense to me. It almost feels like a trap. But I'm going to jump right into that trap. The Giants have looked awesome this year. They're 5-1 right now. They have beaten the Ravens. They've kept it up a lot of the year. Their team's looking good. They don't necessarily have the talent, but they have the coach to utilize that talent. In Jacksonville, they started off the year good, but it looks like they've been trending back down to where Jacksonville has been. I don't see how the Giants are not favorites in this matchup. I really don't. Definitely feel free to dabble the money line here. But for my sakes, for the show, I'm taking the +3 because if the Jags win, they're not going to blow the Giants out. It's going to be a close game if it goes that way. Give me Giants +3, but look at the money line as well. The next game, I'm going to pick one that maybe not be on everyone's radar this week. It could end up being a pretty high scoring affair, though. I'm going with the Chargers against the Seahawks. The Chargers coming off a snooze fest against the Broncos, but when aren't Broncos games snooze fest? And can we talk about Justin Herbert and the sports books for a second? DraftKings put out a special on Monday. If Justin Herbert scored 1 passing touchdown, you'd win the bet. It was originally a -800 bet. They boosted the odds to +100. Just about everybody jumped on that. And I said from the start, it looks fishy, but I would take it. And Justin Herbert ended up not throwing a touchdown. And it's just crazy to me how much these sports books know. It almost makes me want to look, at every boost ever because I feel like they boost everything up just for it to lose. So maybe go against boosts going forward. But that bet to me was just insane. It's been making a lot of headlines. Just how did that happen? He couldn't throw 1 touchdown. That Broncos D is stout. Seahawks defense is nothing compared to that Broncos defense. I think Justin Herbert gets back on track this week, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the Chargers can put up at least 2 touchdowns in the first half. I can see this one being like 21-17 going into half or something. So give me Chargers over 1.5 first half touchdowns against the Seahawks. My next bet I've got here is the Chiefs -3 going at the 49ers. This is one of those ones where Patrick Mahomes lost. Patrick Mahomes always bounces back. I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes, even though the 49ers defense has looked good all year. I think the Chiefs can win this one. I think it's, the Super Bowl matchup from a few years ago now. Give me the Chiefs -3 here against the San Francisco 49ers, and this is just solely based off a Patrick Mahomes bounce back spot here. And my next pick, I'm going with an under this week, and it worked for me last week, so I'm going to keep the trend of going with some unders in my card. I'm going with the Raiders and Texans under 45 and a half. And if you notice, that's where both of my unders hit last week, that exact number 45 and a half. The Texans don't have a great offense at all, really, and the Raiders still haven't clicked like we thought they would. Maybe off the bye they're going to click a little more, but I think this is going to be a low-scoring game here. Maybe the Raiders win it like 24-10 or something. I don't see this one getting to 45 and a half, so I'm going to take the Raiders and Texans under in this spot. And we're going to head to Sunday Night Football, where I'm going to take another under here. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Miami Dolphins. And this is a matchup no one's really looking forward to besides fans of the two teams. Pittsburgh had a crazy game last weekend where they beat the Buccaneers. That was practically the Super Bowl for them. So I think they come back down to earth a little bit. And it's not like they scored a lot of points against the Buccaneers. And I don't think they're going to score a lot of points against the Dolphins either. I think this is going to be another snooze fest of a primetime game. So I'm taking the under 44 and a half here, even though Tua's back. We know he's probably not at 100%, and it worries me against the Steelers defense. So we'll see how this goes. I'm taking the under here. It's been working for us a lot lately. And then going into Monday Night Football. Just after saying the Sunday night primetime game isn't that good, this one's not much better. The Chicago Bears are traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. And this is a spot I'm very weary of, but I'm going with the Bears +9 here. The Patriots have looked pretty solid lately. They've been kind of getting back on track. Ever since the Mac Jones injury, Zappa's been doing a great job for him. And this is one of the spots where I just think the Bears can keep it close enough here. I mean, their team's not terrible. They're keeping within this number just about every team they play. They kept it in the number against the Giants and the Vikings, who I both think are better teams than the Patriots. The Patriots, they've looked good against the Lions and the Browns. So, I mean, kind of the same level. I just think this is going to be a close game. It's going to be probably a little colder. Chicago, that doesn't matter for them. They play in the cold all the time going to New England. So I like the Bears to cover here at +9. So kind of to recap our picks real quick, we're going with 7 again this week. Maybe we'll hit the 6-1 again, hopefully. We've got the Ravens -6 against the Browns. Giants to cover 3 at the Jaguars. Chargers over 1.5 touchdowns in the first half against the Seahawks. Chiefs -3 at the 49ers. Raiders and Texans under 45.5. Steelers and Dolphins under 44.5. And the Bears to cover 9 at New England Monday Night Football. And now we're going to go into our survivor pick for the week. We had success last week picking the Rams, and we're in a double elimination, like I said before, so I'll just recap where we've been going with our picks so far. You pick a team, the next week you can't use them. Some leagues you're out after 1 strike, my league you're out after 2, so we're going to keep the train going. I went with the Ravens, Denver, Cincinnati, Green Bay, all winners. Jaguars, stupidest pick of the year for a loss. And then we got back on track with the Rams. And I'm sticking with the team that's playing the Panthers this week. I'm going with the Buccaneers. They just lost to the Steelers. That's embarrassing. People had Tampa Bay in my league that got eliminated. And I don't see how they lose to the Panthers, who are just a complete dumpster fire right now. Robbie Anderson got kicked off the sideline last week. He got traded to the Cardinals for a 6th-round pick. Word is they're looking to trade DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey potentially. This team's just going to keep going downhill. They're going to tank for that first draft pick. Give me the Buccaneers here. I think that's our best bet of the week. There's no other game that I really like enough to bet on for my survivor pick. Maybe the Cowboys against the Lions, but I don't even like that because I feel like the Lions can pull off an upset or two over the year. The only other one, I mean, the Patriots have a high spread, but like I said, I already like the Bears to cover that, and I don't want to rely on New England, especially how it doesn't seem like Survivor's going to make it to the end of the year. And this could be my final week. Honestly, I don't see any real Survivor League getting past like week 10 or 11 this year, just how it's going. So I'm going with the team that's playing the Panthers, and I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that'll wrap it up for our episode here, folks. It's another week of football. Week 7's among us. We hopefully see the board a little clearer this week. We had a great board last week. Tune in. We might have a fade or follow episode this week where I have some more picks, or I'll kind of detail my picks a little more and some college football picks. But that's it for Dave's R&R today. Have a great weekend. Gamble responsibly and take it easy.